All right, for today's workout, try this. Instead of doing multiple exercises for a body part, do one exercise for a lot of sets. For example, today's chest day. Instead of doing bench press, incline dumbbell press, flies, cable this, that, and the other, just do 10 sets of bench press. This actually is phenomenal for strength and muscle gain. It's a great way to practice an exercise, and believe me, you'll feel it the next day.
I love this tip.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially when I'm not in the mood to train.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really feel like
doing a bunch of
so I just go,
simplicity wins.
it does. And it's because I don't train this way often. And but there's times where I'm just like not into it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go bench press for fucking 45 minutes.
That's just what I'm going to do.
Or just squat for 45 minutes. And it never fails, ends up being a phenomenal workout because that's so novel. You rarely ever train 8 to 10 sets of an exercise. And I love to do this. And especially when you talk about like, probably don't waste your time doing 8 to 10 sets of barbell curls or bicep curls. But if you go pick a one compound lift and do that 8 to 12 sets, boy, that's a workout.
The first time I did this, I was maybe 17 or 18. I had just learned about German volume training, right? That's what it's called.
GVT.
And I did it, and I got really good results from it. So since then, ever since I discovered that as a kid, I'll throw this in here and there. But you know what's a really cool like advantage or feature of this style of training? When I do just one exercise, if I get sore the day after, it helps me identify where that specific exercise hits my body. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done this with pull-ups. Like I'll do 10 sets of pull-ups. And I'll feel, oh, it's mostly in my lats. Or I'll do 10 sets of rows. Oh, it's mostly in my mid-back. Or 10 sets of this chest exercise. Oh, it's this part of my chest. Or that part of my chest. Or this part of my shoulders. So it's a really cool way, too, for you to do an exercise and the day after be like, oh, I can see where that's targeting what part of the body or muscle that is targeting specifically, especially for large muscle groups. It was just something cool, unexpected.
Yeah, it's also like you kind of find that threshold for volume and with that very specific lift as well too. And it's like, oh, usually I could squeeze a little bit out, you know, in terms of like I could probably add another set or like at least like work my way, you know, in that direction a little bit more. But yeah, I just love the specificity of it and looking at it more as like I can really get into the little nuances of the lift. I can focus more on my grip. I can focus more on which like you're identifying later, but also during the lift, which muscles I can activate more intensively to squeeze out more performance out of it. So it's just like there's so many benefits to it.
It really highlights too how much I feel like our space, all of us as trainers, overcomplicate
Totally.
It's like,
you know what's funny? This approach is better than 90% of the workouts that are out there.
I know.
Where you just did one, like 10 sets of a...
Seriously.
Serious.
If you picked basically just, you went to the gym like every day and you picked one compound lift, 8 to 10 sets, and that's all you ever did.
That'd be better than 90% of the workouts that are written out there.
Like you would be surprised like how great of results you, and literally I'm even going to go this far, like no rhyme or reason. You just pick what you feel like you're in the mood to. It's just a one roll compound lift, 8 to 12 sets. Go as you feel every day. No order, nothing like that. And I'm not saying that it can be way better by doing all those things. I'm saying that.
Bro, you just gave the Konami code for workout programming. You know what I mean? By the way, for the youngsters who don't know what that is, that was a code you did in video games.
Up, down, left, right,
game genie and attach it in there.
What was it? Up, down,
left, right, BA select start.
Boom. And you had 50
30 or 50 lives.
Something like that. Yeah. I think it's super contra. No, this is a very easy an effective way to put together effective workout programming. By the way, when you do this, pick a weight that is lighter than you think you'll be able to do. I learned this the hard way. way lighter too.
Oh,
bro. I could do, I haven't squatted in a while, but when I was squatting pretty well, I could do 315 for 10 good reps. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do 225 for 10 sets of 10. No. Set 6. I was like, that's too heavy for this.
What a great point.
Abandoned.
To me, this is the other thing I liked about this exercise, right? Of changing this up is, totally highlights how our body adapts like so well to like the regimen that you currently follow, right? Like as soon as you go from like most people, I would say train within the 3 to 5 set range.
Yeah.
Probably most are really 3 to 4 and a few probably outliers that run like a 5x5, but most people are 3 to 5, no more than that.
No.
And so when you get to set 6 and 7 of the same exercise, how
your performance goes down,
bro. You get so much weaker. I remember when I did. it wasn't that long ago, and I did.
Didn't you guys do that with squats too? One time, you and Justin did that
we did it out here.
Yeah,
we did it out here, and I think it was
just 10 of 10.
I think it was 225 is exactly what we tried to do. I think 225, 10 sets of 10 was what we were trying to do. And by like set 6, I was like, oh god, yeah. I think I was dropping it down to like 5 reps by the time I got down to like the set 6.
I did this
7.
with deadlifts once with 315, which I could bounce 315 off the floor no problem with 20 times, right? I did 10 sets of 10 and I was wasted for days. It was like 3 days where I was like, this.
And the point of us
overdo it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the point, and by the way, so the point of us sharing that with you is so if you're about to go to your workout, and you're going to test this out.
Underestimation.
Here would be my advice. Like whatever you think you should cut it in half of that. Because you can always go up on set 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like you know what I'm saying? Like just watch what you feel like by set 6 and 7. And I bet you'd be surprised on how much that's going to tax you.
What's great about this is if you pick the right weight, this is what it ends up feeling like. Sets 1 to 5 kind of start off easy. You get really good technique. You're getting good connection. They start to become progressively more difficult. Then when you get to like set 7, 8, 9, and 10, oh my gosh, those are the hard work sets. So each set represents a different way of strength training because you have those early sets where you feel fresh. So it's all about connecting, technique, make the weight feel heavier, feel good. By the time you get to the end, it's about maximizing your leverage. It's about maximizing overall muscle activation. It's like, how can I make this happen? So set 8 and set 2 look very different, even though the exercise itself is the same. So when you think to yourself, oh, this is a very basic, simple workout, I'm just doing one exercise. You're not. You're actually doing one exercise 3 different ways. Some of them are slow, bodybuilding kind of whatever. Towards the end, it's like, I got to maximize leverage and overall muscle activation. I'm not just trying to feel my quads. I'm trying to move this weight. It's very different towards the end of the workout.
Well, what I was going to say is you could kind of add your last fitness tip that you gave with this tip. So because you're already doing so many sets and of an exercise, like what a great time to go really light, slow down your tempo, and really just work on form and technique.
Yep.
And I guarantee that shit will get heavy by the time you get to set 6, 7, and 8. Like just do that. Like it's a great way to shake things up.
It's also a fun workout if you have a workout partner. So this was one of my favorite ways to work out. In the few times that I would work out with a workout partner, we would go to the gym. We would say, okay, we're going to do 10 sets of overhead press. And then we would load the bar and we would just take turns back and forth. And it's like, it's like a 45-minute hour workout. Yeah. And it's really, really fun to just stay in one place and do the same exercise for that whole
That's the only way buddy training works, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you keep the focus simple. You get adequate rest because somebody's performing it while the other person's kind of taking the rest. And you guys, you get a lot of benefit from it, obviously, just focusing on what you need to and all the little nuances with that. But yeah, totally. If you try to like do too much in a workout with a partner, like it's just like the discrepancies between the two just gets so crazy.
You guys ever do barbell? This is a different kind of different topic with this, but you ever do barbell curl like handoff?
Oh yeah, we just go back and forth.
Yeah, like I do mine handed to you, you do yours handed to me. We go until we can't do anymore.
Stupid.
Listen,
that will never be a tip in the fitness.
No, but you know what though? Hey, listen, sometimes it's fun to do.
Like I've seen that
that's. I mean, what a point that is, right?
That was
so
fun.
there's your desired outcome going into the workout is important, right? Because sometimes you're bored of the same thing and something just creative is worth doing, but this is a really good tip because, I spent a long time actually training this way with squats and deadlifts. There was a period of time when we were doing Mind Pump where I was really trying to improve my deadlift and my squat. I never thought I was a really good squatter or deadlifter up until we trained and did Mind Pump. And a lot of the both squat days and deadlift days, that's all I did. Like I would bring my duffel bag over to the squat rack and drop it down and do I'd do my mobility. Yeah. And I'd spend 45 minutes to an hour just on that one squat rack. And it would be all about priming and getting mobile. And then between each set, I was critiquing it. I was even videoing it a lot of times and then watching like my form, if there was any discrepancy anywhere, really trying to work on the takeoff. Like I was really just trying to hone in the skill. And I tell you, people get so caught up in the weight and the soreness thing and stuff like that. This is such a good way, because you hear us all the time talking about practicing the lift and getting.
That is literally what this is.
Yeah, and so don't get hung up on like, oh, how much weight do I need to put on the bar? Put hardly anything. Like this, make this like a technique thing, and really perfect the skill of this, because it will really benefit you in the long run.
The feel at the end of the workout's different too. If you do this right, it's not like a bodybuilding pump, type of deal. It just, your body feels very good, very accomplished, very solid. It's a very different feeling at the end of the workout.
It is. And how you know you overdid it is you'll feel taxed. You should.
Yeah, dude.
That's when you didn't listen to what we said. Like this should not crush you. And if it crushed you, you overshot.
Yep.
You should have done a weight. And that's why I say whatever weight you think you should do, cut that in half. And I bet you'll be fine.
Today's program giveaway is MAPS Anabolic Advanced. To enter to win, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel and also turn on notifications. If you do all of those things and if you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. Also, this month's sale, MAPS Split half off, and the Sexy Athlete bundle of programs is also half off. If you're interested, click on the link at the top of the description below. All right, back to the show. Speaking of crushed and sleep and all that stuff, Justin, we're going to bring up how tired you appear to be right now. What's going on?
Isn't that obvious?
No,
I can't hide stuff very well.
You said off air your sleep hasn't been good, or like what has it been, like a few days of just
a string of days, like ever since we left for Vegas, like I haven't really slept consistently, is interrupted like completely, and it was like a multitude of factors.
Are things waking you up, or are you just waking up?
Yeah. Mainly I'm waking up and it's like muscle, like restless legs and hips, and I don't know, like there's stress and there's a lot of chatter and and it's funny because it's like we're kind of there's not a whole lot. There's a lot going on with our company right now and everything going on, but it's like it's not nothing out of the ordinary, but I am kind of like. And I was talking with Courtney about this a little bit, but like I'm actually might be just stressed because we purchased a new place.
Sure. Well, of course, you're stressed.
and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to remodel it immediately, and then like be able to move the kids over there, and they're starting a whole new school. And like every weekend we have is like accounted for up the summer leading into them going to a new school. And I don't know. I guess I just don't process things well.
Have you tried, have either one of you tried Organifi Sleep supplement, the powder? Have you tried it?
No, I haven't tried that one yet.
Sleep powder.
So they have it's like what's it called? Is it Sleep? Maybe Duck can look it up. I think it's called Sleep. What? And the compounds,
like their gold juice or something?
No.
Yeah, the gold juice.
It's specifically specifically for sleep.
Oh, I didn't know.
And it's got valerian root, passion flower, holy basil, skullcap, I think. All of them are traditional anti-anxiety herbs. So it's a different kind of sleep supplement than other supplements.
Well, that one might match better for me. Like,
correct.
I feel that like tension.
That's right.
Pull it up.
Anxiety kind of tension.
I didn't even know they had this.
Yes. So
do we have any here at the studio?
We should in the back. There it is. Yeah, it's called Sleep.
Oh yeah, no, I
valerian, holy basil, skullcap, passion flower, lavender. All of those compounds are all traditionally used for anxiety. So
have they always had the risk-free money-back guaranteed?
I believe they have, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
That's the first time I've ever seen the logo like that on there.
So if you can't sleep due to stress and anxiety, this is a good product. There's other products that like, I can't sleep due to poor digestion, due to lack of magnesium. Mm-hmm. But if it's an anxiety thing, if you're going through a stressful time, all those compounds are good for, especially passion flower. Passion flower is like a natural, very, very effective natural anti-anxiety.
Theanine's in there, lavender.
Well, I try really hard not to complain. That's one of the things too. It's just like,
we got to do. We got to sign you up. We got to sign you up from one of those weird men's retreat groups I've seen online.
I haven't.
Have you seen these?
The 3 days of silence or like dark or whatever. Like
you know what that?
I'll end up strangling everybody.
Listen, they're
Justin for
showing.
sure would be
there's
crying.
like videos of like dudes, like I don't know where they're in the woods or something, and then like a guy's like, yeah, he's like yelling or crying.
They're always
and
drumming.
There's guys around him like rubbing his back, and he's like, I'm letting out all my, whatever. And it's really, it's not this complicated, fellas. Men do a great job of processing by going out and like doing hard stuff. I don't think you necessarily need to get around a circle and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kumbaya.
And, like, cry or, you know what I mean? Play drums. I think it's like, hey guys, let's go build some houses for some people that need houses.
Yeah.
And then that, and even Adam Smith said that this is very bonding for men. That was it vasopressin, which comes from accomplishing difficult things.
Yeah, I'm much more in that camp.
I tell you what, I definitely have decided I'm not going to tease Justin anymore though about any of that stuff because what I went through with the whole Vegas trip and feeling that way, I felt like for the first time ever, I got a glimpse into like how he feels on like a regular basis because I took whatever stress, anxiety that I had with that.
You went full throttle, man.
I just, hey, we got work to do. I guess I've just never felt. I guess that's not me. Like I tend to be one that vocalizes it or whatever, and so I don't do that. And so that was the only thing that I could attach to what was going on. And I remember thinking like, fuck, this is what Justin talks about, and I'm like, this is really annoying. It's like you're not sick, right? You're not like you're healthy. You could technically still work out and do things, but just all day your shit's fucked up.
Storm.
Yeah, and it's like you go to eat and you're like, this may or may not fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? Like every meal you probably. I'm like, damn. So I really. And then also to be in a mood to talk to you knuckleheads and be fine. I'm just like so I have a new level of respect for Justin to be able to manage his life. It's
so hard. Listen, dude, it's so hard. We're all kind of like this.
It's
okay,
funny.
We're all like this a little bit. It's really hard when you grow up not feeling like you can necessarily reach out or whatever for whatever reason. You've learned like, that's not safe. I'm not going to say. So then when you become a man, you're a grown man. Telling people, hey man, I got this real big challenge, and I'm really, whatever. You might as well rip my arm off. It doesn't feel natural at all. In fact, it feels unnatural and gross. So I don't even want to talk about it. Half the time, you don't even want to admit it to yourself. So you're like, I'm cool. Right. No, it's all good. That's why right now you're like, I might be overstressed because of like very stressful things that most people would be like, that's very stressful.
Yeah. Well, because you don't want to acknowledge it. And that's always been the thing. It's like, I know it's hard. Like, of course it's going to be hard. I'm not going to sit here and dwell on that fact, whatever it is. It's always just the MO is like, just get through it. Just bulldoze through it and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Speaking of the house, where are you in escrow right now? You guys are in what phase are you in right now?
I think we have a week we sign.
That's when you close?
Yeah, it'll be coming up. Yeah.
Wow. Exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a total transition.
Do you need help moving? Because you probably don't want to ask.
You're not moving anytime.
I'm not taking any help. Yeah.
You gotta hire people?
Hire people this time. First time.
Moving sucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
I moved more than all you guys because I've had to move like 4 different times. What a pain in the ass.
Well, and that's even the thing. It's not even going to be for a while because my plan of attack has been I already have like a full like design team and build team and everything, and we're gonna like. So for me, it's like I'm gonna get my hands dirty doing what I can do initially, and that's probably why I'm stressed because I'm like I could offload that. But it's really hard to justify.
Why?
When it's just
Go
hard
do
to
it,
justify.
Hire
bro.
somebody.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, shit, he saved us like $50,000.
Yeah, but that's us. This is now just his money, so you don't feel bad.
Thanks for saving thanks for saving us money, but go blow your own money.
It's true because you feel responsible with everybody else. But when it's just yourself, go hire somebody.
Yeah,
you're not gonna let us down. It's your money.
Yeah, I don't know. There's part of that. Yeah, it's hard, and like I do like know I could offload that or delegate. But part of me is like I get an attachment to the house that way. Like I get into all the nuances. I get under the house. I get real familiarized. So if something goes wrong, it's like at least I know where all the shit is and like where things are behind the wall and all that. So that's sort of as much as I'll get involved. But this is the first time it's like we're refacing, we're redoing the whole look and aesthetic of the place. So,
are they going to strip it down to like the framing, or how naked is it going to be? Like how much are you?
Yeah, so most of the floors and then the walls and in terms
But
of
not
like
the
windows, structure, all that, like, yeah, that's all going to stay intact. So we're good there.
What are the laws with that? Like, isn't there like, because I know I know where I live that a lot of the houses are not original. That they have big lots and they're originally small houses and people moved in, tore the houses down and rebuilt. But aren't there laws that say like if you keep 2 or 3 of the walls,
if you keep one wall, you can.
What is it like? You keep one of them, then you can maintain something. With the taxes?
Yeah, exactly. Some form of structure you could still justify.
If you rebuild a whole new house, you have to resubmit all that.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then they'll have somebody come out and assess the value of the home. But if you keep one up, then you don't have to resend an assessment.
Just one wall.
Yeah, just one wall.
Just one, yes. Yeah,
so then it'll go under as like a remodel upgrade, and then you don't have to have somebody come. You don't have the county come out and assess it. But if you have a whole new build, they'll come out and they'll assess your house, and they'll be like, let's say you bought a $400,000 house, and now
around here.
Well, I mean, well, let's say it's a shithole like that. Let's say it's a total shithole. It's $400,000. Then you just demolish it, rebuild up. Then you rebuild a $2 million house. They'll come out and rebuild. But let's say you leave one wall up of that $400,000 house, and then you build around it a $2 million house, or like attach $2 million worth of stuff to it. You can still get the house. You'll be paying property taxes on the $400,000 at least until that property assessment comes out.
There's some places in the world, I forgot where, I read about this, where you get taxed on the land, but that you didn't get taxed on how tall you could make your home or your building. Then they had to change the laws and said if it's past a certain height, then you get taxed. This is what people do, right? They figure out the tax system or code, and then they move around it. Yeah. So then they have to change, what's going on or whatever. Yeah. Have you guys ever known anybody? I feel like you do. I feel like you'll know someone like this, Adam, that has lived on a houseboat. Have you guys ever known anybody?
I know one guy.
You do?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So
you own a boat, and what do? You just pay?
You park it.
It's just parked there.
It's parked.
It's literally like
you
an
pay
apartment.
You pay a boat slip fee. To have it
for the harbor.
And everything's like a regular house. It's just really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not that. I mean, it's kind of.
Well, I've never known anybody who lived in a.
I know. I should
like permanent. Like you live in a.
I should. I actually feel like I should know.
It's not like a trailer home, I would imagine.
Maybe, huh?
He's a lot like that. It's exactly like that.
But
on the water.
We might have talked about this, but we did talk about this. There's a group of people who live on like floating kind of houses, and they have incredible lung capacity because they've evolved to dive really deep.
Is this Waterworld?
No, I told you about that show. There was a TV.
They were on a show.
Yeah, it was called free diving. It was a free diving. It was actually But
there's like literally a culture. I want to say they're in India or.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
well, there's actually
a lot of free diving.
There's a few places in the world where they're like little groups of people that like they grew up doing it, and they literally have adapted.
They like tie these? It's like almost like bungee. Bamboo cords to their ankle as they dive down. So it's like
the Bajau people, the Far Eastern Sea nomads. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So southern
spearfish,
Southeast Asia, and they evolved into sea-dwelling beings with bodies that are different than. Yeah, that's the one. And they're referred to as sea gypsies by some people.
Yeah. We talked about them.
But they have crazy lung capacity.
Yeah, I brought up that there was a really good documentary. I forgot the name of it, but it was on all these free divers, and you brought that up.
Speaking of which, have you guys ever read about the incredible capabilities of I think they're called Sherpas, the people that take people up mountains, like crazy altitudes, and where people need to pause.
Their stamina is insane.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Well, you need to go up and you need to pause to allow your body to acclimate. Otherwise, the altitude. And these dudes go up and down several times a day, or will take people up and just not a problem.
I mean, I think both these.
So crazy.
I think both these points that you're bringing up right now is just is a reminder of how amazing our bodies are to adapt to their environments. I mean, it's crazy that what we can do. Like. At one point, all that stuff was difficult for them, and then their body adapted to it, and then it became like nothing. I mean, it's a lot of what we talk about when you think about it.
Yeah, I remember it reminds me of when I was doing my talk in Vegas, and I brought up that stat that everybody always gets tripped out over.
The Hadza tribe.
Well, no, not that. I talked about how the average college-aged male's grip strength was equivalent to like a 60-year-old in like 1984 or something like that. And everybody in the audience was like, but it's like, we're evolving, we're changing because our lifestyles are totally changing.
I know it's going to be, I try not to be so doom and gloom about that too, because obviously there's some things that we're obviously adapting not in a good way, to that point. Like, what are the positive adaptations that we're getting right now? Like our ability, you have to think that there is some positive things to how easy and accessible knowledge and wisdom is, and like
average IQs have gone up for a long time. I don't know if it's stopped, but for a long time, average IQs kept
right.
going
Like
up.
so, there's I mean that's a positive adaptation, right? The fact, I mean, I just think it's so cool that I can drive a car to work and I could also read a book at the same time, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like that technology wasn't there just 20 something years ago. So it's like. Now, and if you can multitask like that and just now we are at a time where literally, I don't care if it's your car, your house, you need to fix something or learn to cook something or do something. It's on YouTube. Like you could literally download it, teach yourself and educate yourself. I mean, there's some really positive things to where we're adapting.
It's just, I find these like natural human abilities so fascinating because we take it like I said, like the Baiju people who could dive or Sherpas with their ability to handle altitude and cold. I believe Aborigines have a tremendous skill when it comes to navigating, like finding their way, like that. Just
find the way.
Yeah. Whatever. What's that skill called? I can't. Not proprioception, but that apparently they have this really, really good ability to know which direction they're going or whatever because of their culture. I find that stuff like so incredibly fascinating. I also love I've met a couple. I met a karate instructor who was in his, let's see, this was years ago. He might have been in his 70s. He did traditional Shotokan karate. And I knew this because I shook his hand and these two knuckles, bro, his knuckles were like this big. I mean, he's a 70-something-year-old man.
Is he doing that 1-inch punch with the board?
They just do lots of hand, and his fingers were like calloused and strong.
Yeah.
And I shook his hand and I remember I shook his hand. His daughter brought him in. She was my client. And I said, did he do karate? And she's like, how did you? Yeah. And I like his hands. Yeah. So then he was, I was asking
Isn't that
questions.
crazy? Because I remember when I was doing Muay Thai and they're like, trying to condition your shins. And
is that where you get the bottle and you roll it on your?
Yeah, that. And then we would jump rope with a leather jump rope, like barefoot, like on concrete. Yeah. And then so you're doing that. And I'm like, I'm just getting shin splints. Ouch. And now I take that over to the bag that's like lumpy and brand new and needs to be broken in. And they break it in. I'm like, ow. Yeah. And it's just pain. But eventually, like all these little micro fractures heal, create a stronger bond. You wonder about that later on, the people that like have done it for decades, where it's like, do you bypass the arthritis or because like you went so far and the nerves really aren't responding, or are you going to get like a really bad version of it?
Have you ever seen what the bone looks like in some of these practitioners?
It's like changes.
So when you look at bone, it's kind of like honeycomb, right? There's like spaces of gaps
like spongy
of air
in between. Yeah,
that's the microfractures happen in there, and they fill in. So you actually get a denser bone, like a full bone without the air pockets.
Yeah,
if you look at them like side by side, it's like.
But there's a definite art to that because if you go too far,
of course,
you create real damage.
Well, it's like strength training.
Send the right signal, the right appropriate amount, so that your body's rebuilding and strengthening. Yeah. Speaking of fighting, Muay Thai and stuff like that, you just reminded me like. I found it's on Roku, which most people have Roku already built into their TV or whatever. It's called Fight Inc.
Oh, I've seen that.
And it's they did a whole
Is this where they go by each martial art and break it down?
No. This is Fight Inc. is actually all Dana White and UFC.
Oh, never mind.
And it's the business side. Super good. And it's a lot of Dana White and a lot of all just how it would. First of all, you know how much they bought it for originally?
It was cheap.
Yeah,
they going under?
They were going under. They were going under, and he was like around and a part of it right during that time and like involved in it. And the story goes like the owner of it and stuff like that. Like Dana was trying to help a fighter. I want to believe it was Tito Ortiz. Get paid, and they were trying. Oh, I can't pay the bills, this and that. And the guy was all stressed like that, and so Dana calls up the brothers, right, and says, "Hey, I think we can make an offer for UFC. There's
for Tita Brothers.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're struggling right now, and so they offered $2 million, and they bought it for $2 million. It's worth it's worth $15 billion right now. So he's taking it from $2 million to $15 billion.
Crazy.
But it's the whole this whole series I thought was really cool. Is all the business side, all the behind the scenes, and probably one of the coolest parts for me to have insight and watch is like the level of stress they go through just to put a fight together, because of how many injuries and cancellations and matching
minute things that happen.
Yeah.
Somebody not making weight.
Yes. So that and just how they put those fights together and match up the right people to make for a good show, and where they're going, what country they're currently in, and like, I mean, there's a lot of deal making and conversations that happen behind the scenes. You know, it's so interesting. I like stuff like this, right? Because we get to appreciate the show of it,
the
right?
end result,
and we get to critique.
Right.
That was ass, and bitch about our feelings of what we get, and it's like it's just a fraction of everything that goes into making that event.
Oh,
that
I'm
way,
sure
you
we'd
know?
appreciate it more for sure. Yeah, you get a lot of the behind the scenes details of like this person dropped out and then they just last second replaced. And
How closely when you guys were younger? Because the first UFC was what, 94? I want to say.
Yeah,
The
I
Ultimate one.
watched all of them.
Did you watch them when they came out?
I watched them, but I watched them when they were underground and illegal. We had them on video cassette.
Right,
Yeah, we-
but
the
you got-
VHS. Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say, how closely did you follow early days UFC? Was it just like that, VHS?
yeah, and
I saw a few of the actual cage matches.
Yeah.
'Cause it was like,
So I watched the first one when it aired on pay-per-view. I literally watched it. My the commercial would come on, and it was that cartoon figure,
yes.
karate versus judo,
Yeah.
savant versus
Yeah.
whatever. And my dad, who's a martial
was it
artist,
Bob Sapp, the big.
he wasn't in the
black dude?
original one. No, the
No.
original one. The first fight was I want to say was a
the
sumo wrestler.
Shamrocks and the
Shamrocks,
Gracies
yes.
and
It was
the-
Hoist Gracie,
yeah.
Shamrock.
Yeah.
There was a judo fighter. I remember there was a savant fighter that kicked a sumo fighter in the face and his tooth flew out. And that was the first fight where the sumo guy ran towards him and he sidestepped and fell and he got kicked in the mouth and the tooth flew out. And you're like, oh, this is real.
This is real.
This is some real shit right here. But
Yeah,
we
I
watched
think
this
I think I came around 96 or 97, and we watched the previous years on cassette and got caught up, and then I watched going forward. So I've been,
so you know my
I've been
dad-
watching
I
for
came
a long
little late
time.
into
So
it.
one thing I remember distinctly was my buddy, it was Richie, my friend Richie, and me and my dad, and we were watching it, and my dad called it. He had all the different martial arts that were out. By the way, back then, a lot of people take this for granted now because you watch MMA. When we were kids, the martial art you thought would win would be like the flashiest,
Like
craziest.
kung fu.
Yeah. Oh shit, that guy knows something. Monkey kung fu. He's gonna kill everybody.
He's gonna karate chop his neck. Watch.
Yeah. And my dad goes, he looks at it, he watches it, he goes, oh, the judo guy or the jiu-jitsu guy is gonna win. And I'm like, the jiu-jitsu guy, the skinny Brazilian dude? My dad's like, yeah, either him or the other guy is gonna win. We were like, I was making fun of my dad, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Just because you did judo doesn't mean that it's gonna win. And he won at the end. And all of us were like, okay.
Yeah.
Something to it.
I mean, it was so wild back then. I mean, to be a fan of watching since the beginning of we talk about evolution, adaptation, stuff like that, right? Like, back then it used to be, does a boxer beat a wrestler? Does a jiu-jitsu beat a judo? It used to be that. Where now you can't even break into the space unless you know at least
You gotta know everything.
Yeah, you got to be a true MMA. Like you got to be. It wasn't MMA at the beginning. It used to be like fight styles versus each other, and then it evolved into MMA.
There were no-
So is it ever gonna evolve into like man versus animal?
That would be
Well,
probably
like
in Russia.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure-
say
I'm sure
Russia
they're
already
doing
does.
it.
Russia already does stuff like this, dude. I was dying.
Bro, did you see the one where there's like a fat dude against two female MMA fighters?
Yes.
At the
Yeah,
same
that
time?
was funny.
And
It was.
anyone want to guess
can't
who
believe
won?
they did that.
Fat dude.
Yeah.
It was two trained female fighters against a big fat dude.
Just a fat guy.
And he won.
He just like.
I mean, okay, so
ragdolled
I
him.
mean, all right, this is a bit controversial. I mean, are you against that? Like, if the women sign up to get paid, the man signs up to get paid. It's like
I think
I
that
mean, I'm not really interested in watching it.
Yeah.
yes, you are. You 100% are interested in watching that. Stop
stop throwing him under the bus,
bro.
he's like, you subscribe. What do you
Tell
think?
me there's
You're
not.
subscribed.
You're like,
Why'd you pay for it then?
I saw you liked the video before I did. I saw your name on there.
What'd you say?
No way, dude. No way. That's not true.
I mean, there's, and I mean,
it's like a train wreck, right?
yeah, you don't want to
Did
look
you watch the team fighting one? Have you seen that one?
The team on
It's like,
team.
yeah, dude, like 6
like
against
Royal
6.
Rumble.
Do you know how?
See, I like stuff like that.
No,
It's
I
just
don't.
Chaos.
You know why I don't like 6 against 6? Because you think it's like a movie where they're gonna be like all fighting. No. What happens is one person gets
One guy-
beat,
yeah.
and now it starts to become gang up on the other
Gang
guys.
up on it, yeah,
And at
everybody
the end, there was
kinda
like
collects.
3 dudes against one guy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this sucks. This is not cool. The poor guy's about to get his ass kicked
It's
out
like
of
old school gang fights. Right?
Yeah, the Russians, they don't. I don't. Okay, people are agreeing to doing it, so there's that's moral. I get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it says a lot about us, like that we want to watch that shit.
Well,
what are we doing?
It's interesting. I don't remember why, but I saw this picture and I was like, wow, this is a crazy looking outfit. Like it was like all spikes. Like it was this armor.
Oh yeah,
like this ancient armor that apparently they had this armor specifically to attack or like
to prevent
bear attacks. So
Have
it's
you
like
seen
they
this?
would go into in Siberia.
Doug, look up Siberian bear armor. Look how crazy this
It's
looks.
like spiked out, like it looks scary. It's like scary. It's like something you'd see in like a torture.
It looks like
chamber
Hellraiser
or something. Yeah,
it looks like a Hellraiser costume.
So-
Pinhead. It looks like Pinhead.
So now, okay, they would wear this armor.
So that bears wouldn't kill them.
yeah.
I mean, they must have been living in an area that must.
Siberia.
Okay.
I wonder if they like actually hunt the bears.
Yeah,
in
they
those,
would-
Yeah,
right?
look at it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Does that look
wild.
gnarly?
Hey,
Looks like Hellraiser.
hey,
It
that's,
does.
Hey, that's Justin's emotions right there. Hey, let me give you a hug, bro.
Hey,
ah.
Spike.
I can't hug you. Yeah, dude, look at that. Have you seen? Speaking of bear hunting and all that stuff, have you seen what they'll put on mastiffs and stuff for stuff like that?
No.
They have collars that they'll put around them with spikes like that as well.
Wow.
Designed to prevent them from getting killed from bears. And then they have like
even
like
though that-
leather, like chest pads.
Even though that's spiked all over and looks nasty, it actually doesn't look like it would stop a fucking bear from ripping your head right off.
No.
Because when you see, have you ever seen when
They'd
bears?
be a little
You ever
apprehensive.
seen when bears like fight each other? I mean, you know what their claws and teeth look like. So they're biting
they
each
can
other.
rip through that easy. It's
Easy,
just-
right? I
think it's more psychological.
I think so
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
think it's like they think they feel better in that shit, but I don't think that's stopping
no,
a bear
Doug,
at all.
look up bear armor for dogs or something like that. Yeah, bear armor for dogs.
Well, it's just kind of funny because too, like in Germany, there's
A
what are you
little,
pulling up?
a little,
oh my god,
little Shih Tzu
A
one
little
comes
chihuahua. That looks like an S&M dog right there.
I feel like I've seen that in San Francisco.
Yeah.
This is, but
out. Little pug. That's funny.
I feel like as much as we're advancing with technology, you start seeing like medieval technology making a comeback. Like so,
Yeah.
for instance, like in Germany, some of the cops, I don't know if there's a riot or what, but like they started wearing chainmail.
To prevent stabbing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, isn't that? It's weird to watch. Like in our current modern era, like now all of a sudden we're going back to armor.
Dude, it's a matter of time before we have freaking robot cops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just gonna walk and we're gonna do the robot cop.
Yeah.
Speaking of robots, dude, you see with China? So China, I swear to God, I bet you China will not allow this to be sold in their country, but they're making it for sale in other countries. They are making some of the first. So we've talked about this in old episodes. These hyper realistic sex dolls that you'll see they're made out of silicone or whatever.
Yeah.
They're kind of creepy looking.
Yeah.
China is making some that are AI powered. So you'll talk with them and they'll have discussions with you and they'll respond to whatever. Like, dude, this is gonna get gross and weird, man.
You know, speaking of AI, we were at our live event, the VIP dinner, and was it Tommy? Was it Tommy who was to my left that was sitting next to me?
Yeah.
He's the one who was in medical sales,
Yes.
who brought up the AI medical sales and stuff like that, all the tools, and we were talking about the ability for the dishwasher like that.
Yeah.
And he confirmed the exact same thing that I've been saying to Sal since the beginning of all this, which is it is not the actual task that we don't have the capability to do. That's already there. We already have that technology, but they cannot figure out
If it's a spot,
yes,
or
if it's clean or dirty.
Yeah.
And they cannot, and that's the same. And he was explaining that with like the medical stuff with like cells and bacteria, and that's like the biggest hang up is for it to be AI to be able to read if something is dirty, clean, or if there's bacteria or not in that area. And so that's like one of the challenges that they're having.
You imagine with a robot, like the AI war, right? They're coming for us. What are we gonna do? And then we're like, I know. Let's just dress like dirty dishes. They won't know. We found their weakness, dude.
Cannot compute.
It can't not.
Dude, well, I mean, Elon's pretty confident in these Tesla bots.
Yes.
Like within the next,
Have you seen them?
10 years or
Well,
so.
there is.
that
I mean, there's
everybody's
still
gonna want one.
I mean,
What are you
obviously,
gonna do with it?
obviously we've had this
All
crazy
chores.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've had this except for dishes, right? So we've had this big
He's
debate.
claiming it, so like, I mean, I'd love to hear him explain it to you. But.
I mean, I think they put the dishes away and stuff. Like it's gonna be able to take. Yeah, it's gonna be able to do.
Well,
that's just it.
fold the laundry, which is a huge thing about just the folding laundry. Nothing's folding your laundry for you, and that stacks up. Especially if you have a bunch of kids. Like, dude, think about how much time that would save.
Oh, and even just putting dishes away in my house, that's like the least favorite thing for us.
Let me ask you, it's only gonna be like anywhere from like $40,000 to $60,000. Like you could it's gonna be less than like a car, and then even work his way down towards 20 is his goal.
Well, let me ask you guys this: let's say you have one of these robots, a Tesla bot, and it's your assistant in your house.
Yeah.
Do you talk to it nicely, or are you like an asshole to it?
Nice, of course. You don't want them to immediately revolt.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
I thought about the same thing. Like, I should probably be cool.
I mean, I can think of a handful of things that if it's doing it in your house, imagine if it's just always cleaning up and picking up, like picking up the toys and straightening, dusting, wiping the counters.
Dog peas, it's like
putting the dishes away, folding your laundry. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Do you put him away?
That sophisticated.
Do you make him leave the room when you're having sex with your wife? Or are you like, hey, just leave the room, please? Yeah. Or is he going to check?
He would have his own bedroom. He would not be in our room.
Okay. Yeah. So you won't let him be in the room.
No, it would not be in our room.
Incorporate him.
Yeah. I'm sure you could program it to have boundaries.
Your will
like
is
that.
my command.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see.
We're done. You can cuddle with her.
I can't wait to see how sophisticated this is because I would think that the training portion and get it to figure it all out would be such the process. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because so many different.
So let's say all of us have a Tesla bot.
Dude, just getting people comfortable with those
Can we
things
get
in
them
the
to
house,
fight each other? Would that be kind of fun, huh? You bring yours, I bring
Tesla,
mine.
yeah, dude, pit them up.
And then I can upgrade. I can upgrade mine. Hey, dude, let's have our bots wrestle.
This is
Battle
what
bots.
we don't want to hear or talk about. People hacking their bots and then to where they fight and do things.
Fight each other.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong with that, right? That's not a bad idea.
It's like racing our cars. You know what I mean?
Oh my god,
bro! Did you just upgrade your bot? Kick the shit out of mine.
Oh my god!
I know.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be ready when? When is it? He's claiming in the next year or two, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was like a 5-year projection.
And 40,000 is going to be. It depends on because
in today's dollars or 5 years from now dollars.
I know 40,000 is not a lot for something that actually does a lot of these things you're saying. I mean, if you just did those people that
you hired an assistant, would cost you more than that.
Assistant, a house cleaner
for a year.
Someone who's cleaning your house every 2 weeks.
If they lived there and did all that all the time, it would be more than that for a year.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being that good. Could it be that good already? No way.
I don't know, man.
No way. It's going to do something stupid and not work. Like, to me, it's going to be like, it takes the trash, it rolls the trash cans out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or it does some like real basic ass shit. And you're like, I paid 40 grand for that.
Tech, dude. It's like, they'll come out with like the most convincing video. And then later you find out it's like all like just generated and like photoshopped and like,
that's what I
manipulated.
Think. It's going to be like
he's
this.
Not even really that capable
It'll
yet.
put the dishes away for you, but you spend 30 minutes programming it to put the dishes away. Like, this dish goes to here, and then you got to do all the. It's like I could have just fucking did it myself.
We're still at like the amusement park robot capability. Like, hello.
Yeah. That's like the ones at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Exactly.
Those are creepy.
That's what I feel like.
Hey, did you guys? By the way, there was some fake news that got me yesterday, dude. So bad.
Oh no!
Did you see Justin Timberlake got? So this part's real. He got pulled over and got a DUI.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so he got a DUI.
He partied hard in the Hamptons.
But listen,
apparently.
dude. Listen, bro. This article went crazy on social media, and I'm like, I almost bought it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, and then I had to go and confirm it wasn't true. So someone he actually has a DUI. It's a picture of him. He got caught. It looks like he's drunk.
And this truly did.
This is real.
Okay.
Yeah. But the article comes out and says he tested positive for Molly, coke, cocaine, poppers, and then a drug called Truvada. Truvada you take to reduce your risk of getting HIV. Yeah. Basically, it's like the gay cocktail of drugs. So that's what everybody's sharing. Like, oh my God, what was he taking all this stuff for? And I read it. And I'm like, oh, I sent it to Justin. He's like, what the fuck? I looked it up. Wasn't true.
Yeah.
No, he was just drunk.
No. What, man?
See, why?
Bro, fake news goes crazy.
I wonder who put that out there, what their motivation was. Obviously, it was a
satire site, but just goes to show you the times, how crazy things are, where satire, you got to be like, wait, is that real? Or are we?
It seems plausible.
Well,
now.
I think
Anything does.
the most brilliant thing of when people do this stuff is that they attach to something that is true. So then that you get that.
That's right,
you get
because
that
he did get a DUI.
Yeah, you look up real quick, did Justin Timberlake get a DUI? And you're like, and it says yes. And you're like, oh my God, that must be true too. Because they pair it with that.
First thing I was like, doesn't that violate some sort of HIPAA like individual like? Unless there was like a murder or something, you wouldn't have a toxicology
Not
report
right away.
of all of the drugs that are in your system. You
That's
just
true.
hear that you were like, alcohol is the only one they can really reveal.
That's what made me.
That's why I was
That's
like-
what made me question it. Because at first I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, and I sent it to Justin, and then like later on I'm like, wait a minute, how do we get all these?
But still, I heard
This
about
back up with-
poppers and stuff, so I was like I've heard this. Like some of my clients are a little revealing with their like weekend activities. And, I was always like, that was too TMI, you know. And so I was like, oh wow,
I had a client.
That's
like that.
wild.
He would tell me all kinds of stuff. I was like,
Yeah. Hey, speaking of
I know we're
parties,
close, buddy.
how excited are you guys to do the up and coming NCI event at the Tahoe House?
that's gonna be great. Really
So-
in-depth training with these coaches. It's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, there's only they only have 10 spots available. Actually, there was only 8 when I got the announcement, so I have no idea how 2 sold before I even officially brought it up. But the idea is that it's a 3-day event. You have 2 different dates that you can choose to do your deep dive on your business. So we're going to do 5 people on one day, 5 people on another day, and it's us. Plus it's Jason Phillips and his team, right? So it's a combination of them and us going real deep on your business.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's done these with NCI in the past always come out of these saying they're
They get so much out of it.
yeah, unbelievably worth it for
transform
their
your business.
business. Yeah, people. Jason has all kinds of stats.
And it's
on
all
it.
in person with us and Jason Phillips.
And so we wanted to combine forces and we wanted to make it a little more fun. And so the idea was we're going to do this deep dive. We're going to do it at the Mind Pump House, the Truckee Tahoe House, which is on a PGA course. Those that know that Jason's a big golfer, you have an option on one of the days to golf with him. You also have the option to do a workout with us inside of our home gym then. And then we also have a chef coming in and doing a 5-star 5-course type of dinner with us where it'll be served all night. And then we have the bar and drinks and stuff. And so it's going to be fun. So it'll be a chance to hang out with us, a chance to go real deep in on the business. There is only 10 spots, so it'll probably go pretty fast. I doubt we'll probably be announcing this more than once or twice.
It's mindpumpnci.com.
Yeah.
Is where you can.
And I'm
sign up.
pumped. I'm excited to do this. This will
Real
be
quick,
fun.
Adam, do you remember? I just want to see if you have a good memory. Do you remember Schnibbles?
Schnibbles.
Yeah, we talked
Is that
about
a
this.
dog food commercial?
No.
No. what
This is a real word. This is a real word.
No, I
when
don't
you were
remember.
gone, Justin and I were having fun
We went
on the
deep
podcast.
in
Just talking
Schnibbles and glitter.
about- we didn't have you to rein us in.
Yeah.
And that's the name. Schnibbles are what they called glitter, little bits of glitter that would fall off when they would produce certain things.
Before glitter was glitter?
Yeah, it was Schnibbles.
Mm-hmm.
So why the change?
Because then they said, hey, we could sell these leftovers. And they turned it into a
Oh,
business.
wait. So Schnibbles was the leftover of what?
It was like through a manufacturing process of something plastic, something.
Oh, so that's interesting. So
Yeah.
it was like they used
I
to.
just think the name is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's so funny about this. So they used to do something, probably making a
And they
product.
created a mess.
Yeah, and then there was a mess
They
of
could
stuff.
sell that.
That's
That
funny.
was
called
shiny
Schnibbles.
mess. Yeah.
I mean, so I'm always fascinated, and I love. I mean, and maybe this is also why this works with us because I think we're all kind of similar this way. Like,
yeah, it's like whey protein. How that started.
no, that's not. I mean, like, I love like people that made something that we like. The
Those
person who
discarded.
like who invented the paperclip?
Yeah.
Filthy rich though, guarantee it. Right? Who invented the little umbrellas that go inside the fucking drinks that everybody puts in? Like, there's somebody who created something like that is not known by their name, but is uber wealthy and successful and probably generational wealth that none of us know.
Look that up. Who invented the paperclip? That's a good question.
Yeah,
Could you patent that? Did it have a patent at one
I
point?
think so.
Yeah, I feel like somebody patented to this plastic part of the.
What is it
Yes, yes.
Singlet and Inglet?
Somebody
Eyelet.
invented that. Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. Of your.
So
of your
I
shoelace.
love entrepreneurs that think like that aren't chasing, because especially in today's day, right? Today's age, so much of entrepreneurship is not real entrepreneurship. It's actually more people seeking attention and wanting
Yes.
fame.
Yeah, wanting
Where
to
it's
be a
like
Gary
I'm
Vee.
more attracted to like the brilliant business minds that
You're right. Look at that. In
See?
1899,
See?
it was invented by, what's his name?
Johann Wehler.
Johann Wehler. He was an employee at a patent office in Oslo
huh?
when he created his design and received a patent
See?
He patented a similar design in the United States in 1901, but his version was less practical than other paper clips already on the market. Interesting. Oh yeah, look at his paper clip. It's all square.
Yeah.
Square paper.
Yeah. Do you guys ever do that in class when you were kids? You get the paper clip, you like bend it in a particular way,
or you unravel it and then you make like some kind of hook and.
Oh, we used to do this. We used to take the paper clip. We used to take the paper clip, undo it all the way, and then you make it like a V, and then you take tape and you reinforce it to where it's like got weight to it, and then it makes a perfect.
I did that. Yeah, that's dangerous.
Then you
you guys didn't do the thing
like rubber band and shoot them.
That hurts. I'm talking about where you bend it in a particular way, then you make the metal pieces press on each other, and you let it go, and eventually the metal pieces and it jumps up. So you leave it on a desk and walk away and goes bling. That's a good time. Anyway, speaking of entrepreneurs in business, so Caldera made a sunscreen for the face, mineral based. Great, there's a lot of mineral based ones out there. But you know what I like that they did? They included compounds in their sunscreen that are all designed to reduce inflammation and to have antioxidant properties and reduce the damage that UV rays can cause in the face. Wow. So yeah, like nettle, yarrow, winter cherry. There's red algae, beta carotene. So these are all botanicals that they protect the skin from damage from the sun, on top of having the sunscreen effects of the
what's the SPF on these? Do you know?
30.
30. Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you,
aren't most mineral based ones the ones that leave the white film on it?
They can, but theirs is really good.
No, theirs doesn't. That's why I'm asking that.
A lot of them do.
Isn't that right, Doug? Don't always
makes like a white sheen.
Yeah, most of them leave a white haze on your face.
Yeah,
but this one actually rubs in.
Yeah,
I actually have it on right now.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you wear it every day?
Most every day. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it would be beneficial to where even if you're not planning to lay out in front of the sun, it sounds like it's got benefits to just rocking it no matter what.
In my experience, I don't use a lot of sunscreen, but the mineral-based ones, like when I put on my kids versus the chemical-based ones, they're way more effective at stopping sunburn.
They work really well.
Way more effective.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know where I'm always conscious? It's the back of my ears and my neck. Like if I was consistent about it, that's where I would target almost every day.
Yeah, I've seen.
Is that where the term redneck came from?
Yeah, probably.
Of course.
White dudes getting red sunburn.
Of course. And you're working on a farm.
Tan.
You know, I just literally pieced that together right now.
Really?
Wow. Unbelievable. I'm kind of embarrassed.
Yeah.
You should. Makes sense.
Yeah. Rednecks.
Oh, my bad. But anyway,
don't call me redneck.
It's a good idea to use those compounds because the skin adapting to the sun, that's natural. Obviously, don't want a sunburn. But if you do get a little bit of a sunburn, those botanicals reduce the damage that is caused from the sunburn.
Look at you with the science today.
I like it.
every day.
Bringing the science.
I know. All right, shout out. I guess we'll just talk about let's just
the NCI event.
Mention
That's
again.
A big shout out.
MindPumpNCI.com. If you're a trainer or coach and you want to get trained by the best, you want to get trained by us in person, Jason Phillips in person, very few people, so it's very personal, very private, very deep dive. Sign up. There's only 10 slots available.
Yep.
Brain FM is a company that produces music that has been shown literally to change the state of your mind, change the brain waves that you can measure. No joke, this stuff really works. You listen to their focus music and your brain state changes to a more focused state. You listen to the sleep one. You guessed it, you get more of a sleep state. This is phenomenal. It's backed by science. And also, you could try it out for free. 30 days. Try it out. See for yourself. After about 2 to 3 minutes of listening to one of their beats or songs, you'll see what I'm talking about. Go to brain.fm/mindpump and get 30 days for free. All right, back to the show.
Our first caller is Kay from Wisconsin.
Hi, Kay. How can we help you?
Hi.
Good morning.
Hey,
How are you?
super cool to be on here. So I guess little backstory before the question. I've been into fitness for a long time, competed for 4 years doing figure shows. Last show was in 2017. Classic case of totally blowing up after prep. Felt like my whole body was messed up. So didn't compete anymore. 2019, I think my body just got back to normal. I dropped like 30 pounds that year doing just what I had been doing. So the question, I decided to try Semaglutide, and I don't want to be on it long. I wanted to give it a go, see how things went, just drop like a little bit. But the question I have is, what's the right way to wean off of it? Because what I'm thinking in my mind, I'm getting all these scary flashbacks of like, what if it's like coming off prep and my body's all mixed up and it, hunger comes back crazy. Want to avoid that 100%. So is it something where it would be like a reverse diet type thing coming off? What do you guys think?
So you're working with a doctor through this? Have you talked to them about what their recommendation is for coming off?
No. So I'm doing like the compound stuff from online.
Okay. Research. So you're doing research chemical, or are you going, is it prescription?
It's prescription. Okay.
I'm just asking, so I want to make sure that you have a doctor that you can is prescribed it, that you can consult with. From what I've seen up until now, and there's not a lot out yet in terms of how someone would come off. It makes sense just based off of when I've worked with people who've come off of dieting or whatnot, to have a scheduled kind of reverse out, so that you're not kind of left out into the wilderness like, okay, now what do I do? So it does make sense to move out of it with a kind of a reverse diet type of approach. Did you listen to our episode with Dr. Tina recently?
I did, actually, yeah.
Okay. So she, talking with her, she does put people on really low doses, even for maintenance. And that might be another option, to where you kind of scale it down, reverse diet, and move out of it in a way to where it doesn't feel like you're going from one end of the, one extreme to the other. Now, one thing to consider is whatever you're doing now, while on it, if it's something that you can conceive as being maintainable or sustainable later, then it probably will be. But if if everything's so strict right now and everything's so scheduled right now that you look at it and you go, yeah, I would never live this way, it's going to make it much more difficult when you come off. So in other words, whatever you're doing now needs to feel somewhat realistic to you, and I can't answer this for you, as a way for you to come off or be later on. Now, I'm assuming the reason why you did the up and down in the past, and I'm assuming because I've seen this so many times, is prep is so crazy strict. It's so neurotic. It's so planned. It's so measured. It's so insane that when you're done, and it's motivated by the fact that you have a date, you have a show. I got a show. And so what ends up happening psychologically is, here's the end date. After the end date, I'm done with this insane structure. So what you don't want to do is have that same mentality with your GLP-1. In other words, okay, I'm going to use this until, next month or whatever your date is. Don't look at that as like a target. When I'm done with that, I'm done. Like, I'm going to be done with this. It's more like, let me look forward to what that's going to look like. Let me look forward to moving into developing a different relationship with food, which, by the way, starts now. It's all going to start now. And again, from my conversations with Dr. Tina and Dr. Seeds, it does seem to improve the ability for people to develop new behaviors. Partially, I think, because old behaviors are not reinforced. So because of the appetite controlling effects and some of the neural anti-inflammatory effects, you're probably not engaging in old behaviors. So those neural connections start to weaken just because you're not practicing them. But through that process, try to develop new ones so that when you come off, you can move into a different direction. Otherwise, you'll strengthen the old ones that you had before.
Okay, just out of curiosity, why did you want to do this? I mean, you have a competitive background, so I know you understand nutrition and diet really well. You're not really that high weight-wise and body fat percent-wise. What's the desired outcome of using something like this?
Yeah, I just wanted to just drop a few pounds, right? Get another boost, kind of maintain from there. Like I said, I don't want to be on it very long. I'm on a pretty low dose, I think, right now, that I'd like to not go more than. So just to kind of bring it down a little bit and see where I could go from there. Because you're right, I do have a healthy background. Like, I'm not doing anything now that I haven't been doing already, for the most part. So it's because I have the knowledge is why I thought I'd be a good candidate for it, because it isn't anything too extreme, except for the fact that, my hunger is being regulated by that.
What are you noticing from being on it right now?
Just lack of my appetite suppression. It's not crazy. Like I get hungry. It's not like I'm eating so low calorie, but I do notice just less of a urge to eat sometimes.
Okay. And how does that feel to you to have that feeling be somewhat blunted? And then also, what was it like before? What did it feel like before?
Before, like I said, I haven't had, what happened after prep was a long time ago, and things have normalized from there. But it was, just some days you go through chunks where you're just way more hungry. Other chunks you feel like you get a little more normal. Right now it just feels nice. Just nice to not have days where some days you're more hungry or more snacky or whatever. It just feels really normal, I guess.
Was it an impulsive type hunger that you had felt before?
Not recently. From prep, yeah, like shortly after that, but not currently, no.
How long ago was that you got out of prep and went through that?
2017.
Okay. And it sounds like that stuck with you, that experience, that post-prep out of control feeling.
Yeah, that was not good.
No, this is why we almost always talk people out of competing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are literally putting yourself in the psychological perfect storm for dysfunction. And it is traumatizing, which it sounds like it was to you, which is not this is not, by the way, uncommon. Most people who've experienced that come out of it, at least people who are open, will talk about how traumatic it was. Like, oh my God, I can't believe how I felt either during prep or while I was in it, and looking back or post show, the out of control feeling that people experience. But since then, did you still have those, or was it just the memory of that post show? Like, how long did that last for you? That after the show kind of out of control feeling?
Yeah, that was when. So 2019 is so 2 years after it is when I said that year. Just all of a sudden, things went back to normal, and I lost weight easily, just living my life. So that whole 2 years was kind of like lingering from prep. That's why I didn't compete anymore, because I'm like, I can't keep going through this yo-yo thing. So since 2019, I've felt normal.
Okay. So I'm going to speak from personal experience, Kay, because I'm not shy about this, or I should say I communicate this quite a bit on the shows. I struggle with this for most of my life, just this back and forth relationship with exercise and, my body. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. And oftentimes, for me at least, things that can be used the right way can trigger me and move me in the wrong direction. I've actually identified that peptides can do this for me as well. So I can use peptides for recovery or for this or for that. And then I start to get in this cycle of now I'm moving more towards body obsession. And so that can trigger that for me. So I would keep that, just kind of think about that, because it sounds like you got out of it. Sounds like you came out of it. You did well. And now you're on a GLP-1, and what you don't want to do is trigger those old feelings, because now you're like, cool, I feel free from whatever, this natural feeling of hunger. And then, oh my God, what's going to happen when I go off? And that sounds familiar. It sounds a little familiar to what you kind of did before. Whereas before it was prep, post-show. Now it's on a peptide, off a peptide. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't really sound helpful for you right now, in my opinion.
I'm with Justin. I think Sal's being really sweet and nice to you right now.
You should be on it.
I don't think you're the right person for this. It just what your reasoning behind why you want to do it is, to me, not even the right reason for you to be doing this. So
sounds like a discipline thing.
Yeah, and it sounds like I know you have that. I think that this is more body image relationship type stuff that needs to be worked on more than it is a quick hack to lose 10 pounds off real quick. Nothing you've expressed so far to me would, if you were my client, I should say. And by the way, I have clients that I still talk to that, of course, have asked all about this. You would fall in the category of the ones that I'd be like, this is not for you, not for your fitness journey and where you're at. Like everything I'm hearing, it's like it's this. I want to use it so I can get lean real quick, or just drop a few pounds. It's like this to me. If I'm recommending my client, I have family too that I've told I don't want on it, and I have other family that I said it's okay with. If you recognize you have like this bad relationship with food and you're trying to break the chains from the relationship that you have with food. And this is a tool that you use to journal and figure that out and to replace it with better habits. But I don't hear that from you. I hear someone who's just like, hey, I want to lose a few pounds. And like, this is just, all this is going to do is suppress your appetite. And then it's going to come back when you get off. And then you're right back to square one again. And if the driver is purely aesthetics in the way you look, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of. I need to know more. We've only been talking for a few minutes, so I don't know enough about you to be like super for sure or harsh about something. But everything I'm hearing right now, you would not be someone I'd be like, you know what we should do? We should do some GLP-1s. Like I just don't. That doesn't strike me. You don't strike me as the right candidate to do this.
Yeah, you sent a picture of yourself. You're obviously fit. You obviously strength train. You're in a category. Now there are anti-inflammatory effects, neural inflammatory effects,
right? And if she said that, I would say
autoimmune issue effects.
She was saying that I would be okay with it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is that there's definitely people who look like you, who are fit like you, who can also use low dose GLP-1s for some other effects, but not for fat loss or weight loss. And I'm afraid that it's actually going to push you into what you're afraid of or what you're fearing. In fact, I feel like that's why you called us, is because you're like, how do I get off this? What do I do when I get off? I would do it slowly. I would do it mindfully, and I'd be very, very honest with myself throughout the process. I think journaling will help because you could trigger, and it sounds like you are a little bit triggering what you already went through post competition by using this, because now the question's like, oh my God, what do I do when I get off? Is it going to like all come back? Is what happened before going to happen again? Is what it sounds like. And I
want to give you some K that I said. So we had somebody in our audience that we just had a live event, and not the exact same question, but what I think you might be challenged with is really defining your why of why you exercise, why you work out, and then making sure that aligns with your behaviors and your choices that you make around that. A lot of times people will be like, oh, I want to be healthy and I want to be this and I want to be that. And then they say that, and then they are like, but I want to know how to lose like this next 3% or 10. It's like, wait a second, you said it was about your kids and being healthy and longevity, but then like you're concerned about 4 or 5% body fat. You're in good shape. You're not in bad shape at all. It sounds like there's a body image issue, and you tell yourself one thing, but then the behaviors and the things you're doing don't necessarily align with that. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying this is an exercise that I would do, which is like really define what your why is, why you do all this, what's kept you in the gym for as long as it's kept you in the gym, and then ask yourself, like, is taking semaglutide or whatever XYZ thing that I'm doing, does it truly align with that? And if it's not, then to me, there's other work to be done there. That means that I'm still doing things that are going to fall into old behaviors, or there's something else within this health sphere that I need to work on.
Yeah, just to be clear too, these challenges can come from body image issues. I don't look good enough, but they can also come from control issues where I don't feel in control of whatever life, relationship, work, or something from, it's just a feeling that you have. And so sometimes exercise and diet are a way to control things. And so those are typically the top two things that I would look at and say, what is this giving me? Or what am I looking for from this? Is it control, or is it because I don't feel like I look good enough? And if that's the case, then there's the semaglutide is not going to help at all. And if anything, it'll make things worse. So that's what I would consider with that. But as far as coming off is concerned, I would consult with an expert, with your doctor. Again, this is just based off of the conversations that we've had with experts, and I would probably do it slowly. And I'd be mindful as I came out of it so that it doesn't feel like such a light switch on off type of deal, because that could be very jarring, if that makes any sense.
Okay, are you in our forum, or are you following any programs of ours? What are you currently doing?
No, actually I'm not. Okay. But I just do like a 5-day split at the gym, basically.
Let's put you in our forum.
Yeah. And
so that we could talk with you.
Yeah.
And you go in there and comment and tag us so we could walk through this process of what's going on and you know how you can come out of it. And you can and there's a lot of really good coaches and trainers in there, and we have some doctors in there as well.
My recommendation too, I'd like to give her a program, and if you're willing to listen to us, I'd like to move you away from the body part split bodybuilding type of thought process and challenge you with something different that's more performance related to get you out of the thinking about aesthetics mindset. I mean, from the little bit we know each other right now, and if you were a client of mine, this is the direction I think I would be trying to move you. Because I think you seem to be a pretty healthy, fit person already.
You can tell you work out,
exactly.
and you've been doing it for a long time. It's very clear.
Yeah, and so I think if you were my client, I would want you to move away from this body part split and us judging the success of your workout by 5 or 10 pounds off of you, or how you look in the mirror, or your muscles, and be more like, let's talk about performance, let's talk about health, let's talk about strength, let's talk about mobility, let's talk about some things that encompass health for you, and let's start moving you in that direction. So I would love
Power lift?
Power lift, strong. What else would be a really good one that we have that's different? Old time strength. I mean, if any of those.
Have you ever trained really focused on the big three lifts?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I never power lifted strictly, but I still try to go for PRs. I try to lift heavy.
Okay, good. You'll like MAPS Powerlift.
Yeah, that's a good match.
And it'll be good because you'll be focused on your performance, which is a great way to move your gaze. Like I take my gaze off of how I look onto performance while I go through this process, and I'm going to tell just because I'm going to sell it to you because I think this is important. At the end of this process, you're probably going to look better than you've ever looked because you moved in that direction. And you did say earlier in 2019. The weight came off and everything, and it was relaxed. You just felt you were just living your life. That's what we're looking for. And I think that moving towards performance and doing some of the stuff that we're talking about, being in that forum, I think we can do that again. Get you out of this headspace into a more relaxed position. And with the base that you've built, I mean, you're very fit. You look great. Your body fat percentage is very healthy. I think you'll be very happy with how you look, but I don't want you to focus on how you look. Yeah. I know that sounds contradictory, but
the irony is it'll move you forward even further than you thought you could go. So that's the thing. It's just a new mentality to kind of operate from, and I think that'll be super helpful.
Let's send you MAPS Powerlift to get that for free, and then we're going to put you in the forum, and then tag us. Get in there, tag us. Let's follow along and see if we can get you back to that place.
All right, that's awesome.
All right, Kay.
Thank you, Kay.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, sometimes a little harsh.
I mean, well, you were very nice.
Well,
yeah,
look,
no,
there's no other way to be. We haven't a call. So
I know.
I can't. We're not training her. But listen. This is my fear with these.
100%.
This is the perfect example.
This is where this is the abuse that is going to occur, where you're going to have someone at 23% body fat, sculpted and fit, who's going to use a GLP-1 to drop that extra 4% body fat.
Yeah.
This is where I am not a fan of GLP-1s. Now, for autoimmune issues, inflammation,
not a fan.
when you're talking about people who are obese, who, they've got these just really, really difficult to break behaviors, I get it. But in this case, someone's been working out for a long time, was fit, was doing good. It's like, I want to drop an extra stubborn, whatever. No, I don't like that, and it's going to push her back to what she's her biggest fear.
That's not her challenge. Right? It's not even her challenge. It really isn't the few pounds. I'm glad we got this call because, we've been talking a lot about GLP-1s and peptides in general, and the benefits and all the positive stuff like that. And I've seen some of the feedback in the forum of people thinking like we're just all pro. Now they're pushing peptides. It's like, no, that's not the case. We're very curious, interested in it. There's incredible science surrounding it. It's been life-changing for some people. But it does not mean, by all means, that we're going to recommend it.
The abuse potential, because it's effective, is high.
Yes, and she's a perfect case of somebody. When I'm listening to what's going on, this is not for you. This is not. And there's going to be a lot of people that are attracted to that. And if I didn't make it clear before, I definitely want to make it clear that my intent of going through it was not because I thought I'm going to use it to lose the last 10 pounds. Because a lot of people ask, why did I do it? Well, I did it purely as an experiment to know, and I did it like not thinking like a trainer. I did not want to try. I didn't care about body. That's why I didn't test body fat percentage, even though everybody kept asking that, because I didn't care. I just wanted to know what it felt like to take that. And then what it did to my appetite, what it did to my mood, did it do anything with my behavior, so I could communicate that to the audience. Not because I think I'm a good candidate for this whatsoever. So I know that we're going to eventually get more and more people like this, and I want to make that clear that this is not. We don't think it's for everybody at all. That's not it. There's other things we need to work on here.
Our next caller is Ashley from Kentucky.
Hi, Ashley.
Good morning.
Hi guys,
How can we
how
help
are
you?
y'all?
We're doing good. How are you?
How are you?
I am fantastic. Oh my gosh, like my boys would say, this is like best day ever. I'm so excited to talk with y'all.
All right.
How can we help you?
First off, thank you guys for all that you do. I love your show. I love the wealth of information you put out there. And I'm just so appreciative for y'all being here and sharing everything.
Thank you.
So my question is in regards to the cold plunge, how often do you guys recommend a person doing that for optimal health?
What's the desired outcome of it? So just out of curiosity, what made you go, hey, I want to try this or I want to do this? Why are we leaning towards that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of it, by the way, but I'm just curious what drove you that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I engage in regular weightlifting. I love lifting weights. I love being strong. And there for a period of time earlier in the year, I was on the edge of overtraining. And so I added the cold showers. I started with cold showers before I invested in an ice bath. And I noticed that it was really helping with recovery and muscles not hurting as bad and just feeling better. And I backed down my training and, I was being good there. And so I just kept with it because it just felt good. And I noticed an increase in energy and just overall just feeling good. So I'm doing it daily, but I'm like, what is recommended for optimal health?
It depends on the individual. So it would be contraindicated for somebody who is under a lot of stress, not getting good sleep, and someone who's using it as a way to kind of power through an overstressed type of lifestyle. So when I say those things, like how was your stress, how was your sleep, would your friends and family describe you as a type A cortisol junkie, or do you feel like you're pretty balanced?
Definitely a fitness junkie.
Okay.
I have to really pull myself back.
Okay.
I had in the beginning of the year up until May 18th, I was training for my first competition, a bodybuilding competition. I did that a month ago. So there again is another reason why I was on the edge of overtraining and using any method I could to help with recovery and just feeling good. But since then, in the last 4 weeks, I've really focused on just being healthy, being strong, and just feeling good. So training has cut back, calories have increased, sleep is great, and stress levels I feel like are great. The only thing that truly stresses me out is my 7-year-old when he acts like a Tasmanian devil.
Okay.
Actually, what programs of ours have you followed?
I have followed Anabolic and what's the one that comes after Anabolic?
Performance.
No, not Performance. It was the Shredded Summer Bundle.
Oh, okay. So aesthetic is in there.
Aesthetics, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've done both of those.
Do you have caffeine throughout the day?
I have, yes, I do a Prime energy drink whenever I get ready to go in and for my lift.
Okay. So, I don't, and now it says in the question, by the way, you do 10-minute cold plunge. Is that true?
Yes, I've worked my way up to 10 minutes. I started out, like I said, just running cold shower water after I washed my hair and whatnot and standing there for what I would guess would be 3 minutes. I don't know. I didn't have a timer. And then I invested in an ice bath, and then I started 3 minutes, worked up to 6 and worked up to 10.
Okay. And then do you fast?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. So this is not most people with cold plunge, but people can develop, no joke, I've read about this, an addiction to cold plunging because of the catecholamine release, the dopamine, all the norepinephrine, epinephrine type feelings. And when you push it too often, I'm not saying you are, although I think you might be close to it. When you push it too often, you start to downregulate receptors, and it starts to become kind of like this, if I don't do it, I'm dragging ass type of deal. If that's what's happening, if you notice, if you miss a day that you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired, I need the cold plunge, then I'd say you might be doing it too much where you're pushing too much. Now, from a recovery standpoint, I will say this. whatever recovery boost you get from cold plunge, you'll get far better results simply from reducing the volume and intensity of your
That's
workout.
why I went to asking you about your programs, because I think the answer lies in that, and I'd be pushing you towards a MAPS 15 type of program. I'm not against the cold plunging, but for the reasons that you like it, for the recovery aspect, is a signal to me that we're probably especially since you admit that that's kind of where you lean anyways. So to me, it's like, oh, you know that about yourself. You already kind of overtrain. Oh, this cold plunge is making you feel better recovery-wise, but really what it's kind of doing is just putting a Band-Aid on the overtraining. It's like you're still probably pushing yourself more than you need to, or too much volume or intensity, and the cold plunge is allowing you to do that, and that's why you feel better, and so that's why we keep doing it. So that's where I would address. And now I'm not against cold plunge every day. I think doing something hard like that first thing in the morning, there's a lot of other benefits besides the recovery. In fact, that's what I'd want to hear more of is like, I mean, I love the energy that you get from it like that. You talk about start your day off right. Doing something hard every morning like that, I think has a lot of benefits. But for doing it for the recovery reasons, is a sign to me that our training is our intensity volume isn't right, and we need to figure that piece out. Otherwise, we're not really your results will be better if I can solve that for you. Like so, with potentially less effort and work. So I would recommend a MAPS 15 advanced version because you've been lifting for a while. I think you'll benefit from that protocol. The cold plunging, I'm okay. I'm not against it. I just the reasons why you're enjoying it so much for the recovery purpose is not what I would want. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and if you start to feel like the cold plunge feels addictive, like I said, or if you don't do it, your energy drops considerably below baseline, then you may need to back off a little bit and allow your body to kind of reacclimate. Cold therapy, hot therapy is a stress on the body. So although it does have the side effect of reducing inflammation and thus potentially speeding up recovery if you're overinflamed, although we did say there's a better way to do that, it is a stress on the body as well. And so what you find, for example, with people...
You don't want to like totally eliminate inflammation either, as that's the signal for you to, provide that signal for muscle building to occur.
And when a functional medicine practitioner, for example, like Dr. Cabral, right, if he sees somebody with HPA axis dysfunction, they used to call that adrenal fatigue back in the day, he would say, do not do hot.
He told Doug
therapy.
He can't do it. He told Doug, no cold plunge for Doug.
Yeah. So if you're like that, like I said, go, make things hard, intense, type of individual, then it may be contraindicated. But the problem with that is me telling you, if that's you, it's like, it feels good when I do it though. Well, yeah, it feels good because your baseline is low. Your baseline is low because your receptors are so hammered from this, constant, pushing out of catecholamines and stuff like that. So I can't answer that for you. You need to answer that for yourself. But if you notice, like when I don't use it, it's like coffee. Like, coffee's great. But if you start to get in the place where if I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm a zombie all day, then that's a sign that we need to reduce caffeine intake. I mean,
I want to give you MAPS 15 if you don't have it already. So I want to give you that. And then the other recommendation I would have is actually get into our holistic health forum and go in there and reach out to some of the professionals there, kind of express what you're expressing to us right now, and see what Dr. Cabral and his team say to Sal, where Sal's leaning right now, because real easily we could do a blood panel and get some numbers back and see if you do fall in that category like Doug did, where,
he says don't do the cold.
Dr. Cabral literally told Doug, don't do the cold plunge. It's not right for you, for where your cortisol levels are and your type of personality. It's not doing you any favors. So he's been told not to. So, and that, for what Sal's like leaning at, you potentially could be that. So I know I said, I'm all for it. I am all for it unless that's the situation. And so it may be worth your time to find that out about yourself. And in the meantime, let's definitely switch to like a MAPS 15.
So if I wanted to do the blood panel and check the cortisol levels, is that something I would go to my primary care physician and request?
No, you do it all through them.
Yeah, they send you a kit.
They'll take care of it. They'll send you.
Yeah, you can do it all from home too. They'll send you a kit, and you just do it from home. You just mail it back to them.
Yeah,
it's
super convenient.
If you go to your primary care and ask for a cortisol test and to see if your HPA axis is balanced, they're going to look at you like you just spoke Chinese or something.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
you got it.
Yeah, and I'll have.
I would be more than happy to be in that forum. And get some more knowledge and education.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna have Doug send over MAPS 15. I'll also have him send you the link to the Facebook group.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got it. And thank you so much for the support, Ashley. And you just great vibes from you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, you guys have a fabulous day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You have a good one.
Just giving people bad news today.
She's great.
Can we just tell people what they want to hear?
I know, we're getting lined up.
You
like
should
that.
do more.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Doug. That's good because that's a good example. Doug's healthy and fit.
Yes.
And so the average person would look at him and say, well, what's wrong with cold plunging? But through his blood work and some of the tests we did with Dr. Cabral said, cold plunging is contraindicated. It's actually not going to help you. Now, for other people, it's great. Mm-hmm. And so this is a tool, right? All tools are good for the right job.
And not good candidates.
That's right.
Our next caller is Marcelo from Spain.
Marcelo, what's up? How can we help you?
What's happening?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man.
Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad to get to talk to you. This is actually my second call. You really helped me a couple of months before with a client. So I'm just here asking again because I'm having a hard time with one client right now. I'm just gonna ask my question again. And the big picture is I have I've been working with a female client for like 2 years now. And as I say in my email, we successfully reverse diet from 1,900 calories to 3,800 calories, and also really good results. Really strength gain. She feels a lot better. She's actually right to the point that she don't want to eat anymore, but she looked really great. She's really happy with it. But she, of course, want to get to the next level, and she really want to make a cut and I don't know, like feel like have an amazing body, like the best shape on her life, and I am helping her to go there. But I'm really struggling with that because we were doing all the right things. We were changing the training accordingly. And we were doing like a small deficit on calories, like starting with around 500, and then just small 10% increments. And now we are around 1,900, and she's not losing any weight.
Did she lose any weight going from 3,800 when she first started going down? Has she lost weight during the process at all?
Yeah, she lose around 2 kilograms. That would be around 4 to 5 pounds, I guess.
She lost only 5 pounds going from okay, so she went from 3,800 calories to 1,900 calories. Has only lost 5 pounds or 2 kilos. How long of a period of time?
How long is this?
Yeah, for like a couple of weeks. Like I have the number here, so I'm gonna tell. Like we have, from the starting this year, she went from let me see, from 74 kilograms, 163 pounds, and so now, from February, around February, and now she weighs 72 kilograms, and like 2 kilograms less, and she's eating around 131 calories daily.
When before she started working with you, did she do a lot of up and down weight loss, weight gain, on her own? Okay. So okay, I've had situations like this. There's a couple theories as to why. I know Jason Phillips thinks that the central nervous system has a memory of all the ups and downs. You will run into sometimes a person whose body, their metabolic adaptation downward is so profoundly fast that you'll take them in a cut and they'll lose a little bit and then their body just plateaus very strongly. So I would not keep cutting her.
No.
I would bring her up a little bit. I'd bring her up. She's at 1,900. I'd bring her to 2,300 calories and I would stay there for a while and just try to get her strong.
So my thought right away was 23 to 2,500 calories and still focus like you're trying to build muscle and strength. And what I think will happen is she'll just slowly lean out right there. You won't see a lot of movement on the scale, but you should see improvement on her physique. She should change, especially if you got her up to 3,800 and she wasn't putting on a bunch of body fat there. So you've got her going. I just think it's too much cutting her all the way down to 1,900 calories.
And it's already adapted. And so, and I've had a couple people like this where it was like, wow, what is going on? But some people's bodies, and it's from, in my experience, it was because these were people that had done such extreme up and down, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, that the body learns how to adapt very quickly to the process of trying to lose. So with these people, I took my time and I wouldn't put them in a severe deficit. Like I said, like Adam said, 2,300 to 2,500 calories. And just for a long time, we're just going to try and get you strong. We're just going to try and get you fit.
What, even more specifically, what it would have looked like if with this type of a client, what I would have done, you did a great job by reversing her up to 3,800. That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Okay. And then I know what it's like to have a client. It's like, okay, well, that's great. I'm eating all this food, but I want to look this way. I want to get ripped. I'd say, listen, you've been doing so good. We're heading down the right path. I'd like to keep you here, but I understand. So let me show you something. We're going to do this just for the next 2 weeks. And I'd give her a nice cut for 2 weeks just to show her that feeling of leaning out and how quickly I can turn on it. But then I would be like, let's go back. And then I would keep doing that with her. I'd try and keeping her in the direction of building muscle, building her metabolisms, keeping a healthy amount of calories. Whenever she gets a little impatient, I'd show her a little cut for a short period of time. I definitely wouldn't allow her to cut for months, a month or more at a time. That's just too long.
No.
Yeah. Just
I just want to ask that, like especially that, how do I communicate with her, because she's really like angry with herself because she's thinking about that. She's thinking about, I can never go there. You say I'm able, but I don't see it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And I am like just trust the process. You're doing great. You're actually doing great. I show her the numbers. She's feeling great. She's amazing, but she still has this perception, of the social media and all, that she just wants to look like amazing, like beach ready, because she's already working so hard. She's really a really good client. She just follow directions like to the letter.
Yeah. Remind her why she hired you, Marcelo. Why did you hire you hired me for a reason, right? You hired me to help you through this, and I'm telling and make her feel confident that you know what you're doing. You've seen this before. This is what's best for us. I can give you what you want and just start cutting, but then let her know that what's going to happen. We're going to lose a little bit, and then you're going to plateau really hard, and then we're going to be doing all this work and cutting so many calories, and you're not getting the results. I want to build a healthy metabolism. I want your body to work for you, not work against you. Like we got to keep going this direction. You just got to trust me.
And sometimes a mistake, I used to do this as an early trainer. A mistake that trainers and coaches make is we try to soften reality because we don't want them to feel bad. So we'll say things like, yeah, I know, but you're doing good and everything's great and all that stuff, which is true, which is very true. But you also want to be reality, and you can say to her, look, the reality is, for whatever reason, probably because of the ups and downs that you did with your weight in the past, your body's metabolism adapts very quickly downward. So this is just the reality. The reality is we can't just keep dropping calories because it's not going to work. So the reality is we have to continue to focus on getting you stronger. We have to teach your body it's okay to continue to get leaner, and that's not going to happen from cutting your calories anymore and aggressively trying to lose weight. Oh, and here's also the reality. If you compare yourself to people on social media, you're never going to be happy. So I think we should turn that off. But that's because you want to be honest, and you want them to accept reality, because sometimes trainers we try to make it soft, and then the person has these unrealistic expectations, and then they get disappointed. And the reality is her body adapts really quick downward.
Speaking of being honest, Marcelo, why are you not in our coaching program with our trainers and coaches?
Dude, of course I am. Of course I am.
Oh, why don't you use this in here, bro? These are great. You got a community.
Yeah. I'm actually, I was gonna, because but then I heard, I think about okay, I'm just gonna write an email first
Okay.
to see if I'm able to talk to you guys, because you really helped me with a client before.
Yeah.
So and then of course I'm gonna reach to the Facebook club. Personally, the only issue is I don't use Facebook that much.
Okay.
I only have it on my phone. So, as a trainer, I'm not really that much on a phone daily basis.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
good. That's
just
all.
for that. But no, this is an amazing group. I know that there's a lot of great people there.
Perfect.
But yeah, I just want this chance to really help take this from all of you guys.
Okay.
Perfect.
And that, because is the what Tal says, that the communication part is a really hard part with her, because she already trusts me. She already see we beat the plateau, we beat all their marks. She feels amazing. His partner tell her all the time, she's really good. She's really good. She just want to take that step, and I already did that. I already softened the blow. I already told her that that's not real. Nobody looks that way, especially with not the same background that you have, that I have, that we all have. And yeah, I just and I told her, just give me all your food diary. Give me all your pictures. I'm gonna tag with my teachers, and I'm gonna tell you, because I have these guys that they for sure gonna know what to do.
Good.
There you go. I like that. I like that.
How old is she, by the way?
She's 29.
Oh, she's young.
She's young. Okay.
Listen, get her strong.
Yeah.
Get her strong. It's going to take a little while, but she's so young. Just keep getting her strong. Have her focus on strength the whole time. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring you up to 2,500 calories. We're going to forget about weight loss right now. I'm going to get you really, really strong. And the side effect of that is we're more likely to get that metabolism where we want, and we're more likely to prevent that negative metabolic adaptation. So let's just see how strong we can get you for the next year. That's going to be the best thing.
You can keep her focused for a year on getting strong, and every month and a half, interrupt it with a short 2-week cut to show her. And then what I would do is, I make all my clients front, side, back photo shot of themselves at the same time, the same bikini, whatever. And then I just I promise you we're doing it. I show her the difference between what you look like now and what you looked like 2 months ago of this process. You just, hey, keep going. We're doing the right thing. We go back to getting strong for a while. Then we interrupt it with a little shortcut so she can, and then we take the picture after 2 weeks, and then we do it again. And I just keep doing that with her along the way. You're doing a lot of the right things. I understand it's the communication. There's definitely an art. There's an art to getting clients to adhere when they really want something and they don't understand that you're doing the right thing already.
But she will love that. She will really she really like to be strong. She really like to get some big lift. So she's gonna love that. She's gonna love that.
Oh, good.
Good stuff.
Cool.
All right, Marcelo. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you again. I really appreciate all the things that you do. You are, I don't know. You are the best thing out there for trainers. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And please keep it going.
Oh yeah,
thank you,
course,
brother.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's tough. I worked with someone like that.
I have too.
Where it's like,
several people. Like
and it's just it's like
a mystery.
Yeah, stubborn is the wrong word, because stubborn makes it sound like you could break the will of your body or whatever. It's just for whatever reason, and it's in my experience, it was people that did these extreme ups and downs.
Yo-yos. Yep.
And their body learned to become resistant, and so it takes a long time to get that body to be like, okay, we can get leaner.
It's funny because you always talk about, Sal, like evolutionary, right?
Yeah.
It actually is a good thing. Like you have this a metabolism that adapts really quickly to the change in calories. So it's actually
here it comes again, and then
it's actually not. It's just in modern times where we have access to so much food, and it's so tough to do it. So in reality, it's actually
the theory is you got to make it. It sounds silly, but your body has to feel safe with being in a deficit, right? It has to feel safe. If it doesn't feel safe, because it's experienced these extreme ups and downs before, it's gonna move in a quick direction.
I mean, there's really two different ways that I take care of this type of client. Either one, we put them like smack down in the middle, like 2,500 calories or so, and we just stay there and we just try and get strong, and the scale doesn't move much, but we just get a little leaner, a little stronger along the process. Or I allow them to run a little bit higher in calories, interrupted with these monthly or bi-monthly cut
for the psychological benefit.
Yeah, for the psychological benefit, just to show them I know what I'm doing, that I'm in control of this process, and you see how you feel just in 2 weeks. But we don't want to keep going that way, because then you're going to get adapted, and we'll be back to square one. Just trust me that we're heading in the right direction. And then being able to show them, sometimes when you get somebody who's hung up on the way they look, and that's what they want to see the change in, trying to show them week over week is tough. Like, especially
but then if you have like 3-month pictures,
right,
sometimes you're like, oh my God.
Exactly. Especially if they're in a surplus trying to build the metabolism, they're really not going to feel like they're getting much. So I would run those little mini cuts, take a photo of what they look like after that little mini cut, compare it to the last time we did a mini cut, and then go like, tell me, can you see the difference? And help them see the difference if they can't, and then remind them that we're going down the right path.
Our next caller is Andrew from New Jersey.
What's up, Andrew?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
I appreciate you having me back. Oh, man, living the dream.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump right into it, and I'm going to give you the thanks that you get every time that somebody calls. I really appreciate what you guys do. It's hard to find people that go from fitness and parenting to conspiracies to nutrition. So I found my people. I'm a recent listener. I've just joining you for the last couple of months, but I really, really do appreciate what you guys do. Basically, I had 2 questions. One of the questions I have answered for myself by listening to a lot of hours of podcasts, but the first one I'm still trying to figure out, which is basically I'm 39, and about 2 months from now I will be turning 40, and I would like to live my 40s much more healthy than I did my 30s. I've trained off and on pretty much my whole life. Did high school sports. Found a kettlebell gym locally that I joined and was a member for 5 or 6 years after high school until that shut down. Bought a bunch of kettlebells and have been training kind of on my own at home since. I've have a ton of MAPS programs, but I've really only gone through Anabolic like in totality. That's the only one that I've really like gone all the way through. But the basic question is, I have Prime and Prime Pro, and I haven't figured out exactly how to like incorporate those as a program. So I was thinking, I'm getting older and I have 2 young daughters. I don't want to be on the floor and grumbling every time, I get down and try to play with them. So I'm like trying to figure out, maybe I need to focus just on mobility before I, really dive back into like strength or endurance training. I do some endurance events, so I kind of lean heavily into like rucking specifically. But yeah, so like I said, the question that I really have is how do I incorporate specifically Prime Pro to, get the movement patterns, because I feel pretty jacked up.
Great question.
Mm-hmm. So Prime Pro, when you find the movements that work for you, by doing some Prime Pro, you have movements in each, or essentially tests in each category that help you see like, okay, I can see I have some issues there with my ankles, my hips, my shoulders. Pick one movement or 2 within those categories. And honestly, the best way to use Prime Pro is to practice those throughout the day. So, 3 times, 4 times a day, spend 3-4 minutes on one of those movements. Make sure you follow the cues. Make sure they're done with intention. So it's not like a passive stretch. You're actually trying to activate while you're doing it. And the more you practice them, the more effective it's going to be. So it's a lot less structured than a workout. It's more like okay, I got combat stretch.
You're teaching.
I have wall circles. And then you just throughout the day, you practice them.
Think of Prime as what is going to set up to optimize my workout. So and the same kind of concept, I'm only going to pick 2 or 3 movements that I really need. It's normally something to do with like people's upper cross syndrome, or if they have an anterior pelvic tilt. Like, I'm only going to do a couple things that are really going to prime my body well before all my workouts. And then Prime Pro is more correctional. So like Sal, using the example, the ankle mobility, that was a big area for me. And so the more you do it, the better you are. Not like, oh, I need to do it longer, but more frequently. So like literally getting down and for like 2 minutes, that's it. Just doing the combat stretch and then going about your day. And then, you remember 2 hours later, I should do that again. Or you're down playing with your kid on the floor and you're like, I'm going to kind of do the combat stretch while I'm playing with my son. Yeah. So that's kind of how you want to think about Prime Pro. Prime Pro is correctional. You can't do enough of those movements. Now, the only mistake I see people make with it is they they're trying to do like 7 different. I always recommend pick 1 or 2 that you need the most, or that we see that we need the most, and really ingrain that into your daily routine of doing it a lot. And then you're going to see major progress if you're very consistent with that over time. And then I'll start to build on that and add more things.
Yeah, I think too, like, and it is a bit daunting for people when they look at a program like that. It's like, where do I even start? And so this is kind of like why we created these webinars, and the one, specifically I'm going to talk to the one Adam did where he made a workout out of it. And so I think it's beneficial to do that initially, just so you can find those greatest offenders. You might not know that off the top of your head until you're getting into these movements and you're really trying to work your way through. If it has a lot of difficulty and restriction there, that's definitely one we need to highlight and then incorporate as the 1 to 2 to 3 that you focus on, that you kind of carry with you throughout the week. But there's nothing wrong with creating a whole workout out of that. And the great, a good way to follow that is to go to that webinar and kind of go through that entire workout to see how something like that would play out. Now, as a follow-up to that, since like this is like going to be a priority for you going, forward into that, I would like to see you kind of follow that up with something like symmetry. So now we're establishing these better patterns, we're repeating them, but we're strengthening them. And so now you're getting strong in this any left to right discrepancy, we're going to really like sharpen up and create stability and strength. So when we get back into like training like you're used to, everything is going to feel like butter.
Okay. The webinar, is that on YouTube? Like I can find that on YouTube?
It's actually in the program, Doug. Yeah.
There should be a link in there.
Yeah, it's actually in there. I didn't know this until the other day. I was actually
primeprowebinar.com.
Yeah, but it actually is in the program.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
It is. And so is the
Oh yeah, that is correct, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I've been telling people to go to Prime Pro Webinar, the website all the time, but I guess we threw it in the program for everybody so we didn't have to keep doing that.
Yeah, we do that Prime too.
So it's a 50-minute workout, you'll see, and it's coached by myself. And I love that Justin went that way, because this is actually how I tell my family, just to simplify it, because they open it up and they're like, oh my God, where do I start? I was like, listen, just do what I tell them to do. Saturday morning, I want you to follow that 50-minute workout. Just follow it to a T, put it up on the TV, do it on your living room floor. And then I tell my family, like, pick 2 movements that were the most difficult for you to do. And then I just want you to frequently practice that as much as you possibly can throughout the week. And that means like multiple times a day, get down. You don't have to do them both together. You can break them up. You can do the handcuff with rotation sometimes. And then other times you just do the comment. Just do them as much as possible and practice the way I taught you and watch the improvement it makes by itself. And so that's exactly how I would actually recommend it. And I agree, symmetry would be a great program to pair with all this.
All right, Tuesday. I have symmetry, so that gives me something like a target to shoot for.
Excellent.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. I have one more quick question, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Do you think your 40s is too late to get into the fitness game?
No.
What do you mean?
Like as far as a trainer?
Nah,
No.
bro. No, you're better.
No way, yeah.
No. Yeah,
You'll be able to relate a lot to a lot of clients out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that wisdom, bro, that you've been gathering. So much of being a good personal trainer. I mean, obviously understanding nutrition, biomechanics, stuff like that. But a lot of it's just maturity, communication. Like
I think we tend to stereotype trainers as young because that's what we tend to see in the gyms. But in my experience, all things being equal, the older trainer tends to get clients
These
easier.
are the best ones.
They get they look more professional. Like your 25-year-old trainer versus a 45-year-old trainer. All things being equal, somebody's going to pay you $80 an hour, $150 an hour, whatever. The 45-year-old usually does better. I think it should be just stereotype them. That's all.
If you haven't, did you go through our free 3-day course?
I did not know.
Bro, mindpumptrainercourse.com.
Yeah.
We'll send you the link. Go through that. It's a free 3-day training course. We teach you some good stuff.
Yep.
Awesome. I'll definitely do that. I really appreciate it, guys.
You got it, man.
Awesome.
Thanks for calling in.
All right. Later, guys.
Right.
You got it. Yeah, so
Good question.
It's important for people to understand, when you're doing correctional work, you're not focusing on hypertrophy. You're not, although it is strength building, it's not like traditional strength training. What you're trying to do is develop better patterns, better movement, patterns. And that means that the more you practice it, the better.
Yeah.
So you're better off doing a little every day than you are doing a lot once or twice a week. So that's why Prime Pro, it's like pick your movements, practice
repeat them.
Yeah, don't do like one long workout and then wait 5 days before you do another one. That'll do something, but you'll get way faster results if you do a little bit every day.
I really think that I was lucky that when I went on this mobility kick, I was simultaneously still teaching at Orange Theory. And anybody who's been to an Orange Theory kind of understands the template where they have like basically they have blocks. They have these short 3-minute blocks of, you know, working exercises or running on the treadmill. And so every third minute, I would have this thing where I send the people on a run for 1 minute or 3 minutes. And I actually trained myself to literally get down right after I send them on, all right, go, all out. I tell them run. And then now it's like basically I don't have to talk for a whole minute or two. I would get down and do the combat stretch for that minute. And I practiced that the entire day, all day long. It's like,
and you got good fast.
Really quick, I was able to make a lot of moves. And that was the secret. And it was not this like, oh, I spent an hour every day doing this mobility. It was like, no, I did these little frequent, continually like repatterning this, my ankle mobility and the ability for my knees to drive over my toes. And then before you knew it, I had gained access to that.
Totally. Look, if you like the show and you want to learn more about peptides, we have a free peptide guide. Breaks them down for you, shows you what they do, what they don't do, who they're for, and who they're not for. It's a free guide. You can find it at mindpumpfree.com. You can also find us on social media. Justin is on Instagram at mindpumpjustin. I'm on Instagram at mindpumpstefano, and Adam is on Instagram as mindpumpadam.